Many of us think that cyber attacks require lots of skills and loads of money to perform. While this is true in many cases, there is an attack that you can perform on your phone. It takes a few seconds and it gives you unparalleled access to the servers. I'm talking about the injection attacks, which are easy to test against, easy to fix, and unfortunately extremely common in websites even today. Hello Internet, I'm Arya Bagheri and today we'll go over how code injection attacks work, what I do like about them, what I dislike about them, how to defend against them, and at last I'll show you how I use this attack to bypass login on a vulnerable website. So in the simplest form, a web page is just a static HTML file. You could see things but no inputs. The server would just send you the HTML file whenever you ask for it. This is the ideal setup since it is cheap to execute and is automatically immune to tons of attacks and loads super fast, so it has awesome SEO. Now, things are not as easy in some setups. For example, the login page requires user interaction. And for your feed, Instagram has to show you personalized posts that you don't want anyone else to see. Messaging apps do not work with the basic setup as well. This is where JavaScript comes in and exposes us to lots of cyber attacks. So let's think about a messaging app. I write whatever I want, then click send. The server receives the message, then delivers it to the client app. The client app then puts that message inside their template code, and boom, the person on the other side can see the message. Now, placing something from someone else inside your template directly is just like injecting yourself with a needle that you don't know if it's clean or not. What happens is, if someone puts some malicious code inside this message before sending it, then your client app puts the message in the template. It cannot tell the difference between message and code, so it would actually run the malicious code thinking it's a piece of application code, and your system would get infected. Most injection attacks rely on unsanitized user inputs, so just sanitizing your user inputs would help a lot. Sanitizing is just a fancy word for removing or replacing anything that the app might mistake as actual code. There are a variety of techniques to sanitize inputs that we would discuss later. That's the general idea. Now, there are lots of variations, like XSS, which is the one I described above. And there are also SQL, OS command, and code injection, and many other variations that we will talk about later in separate videos. Those will be linked down in the description. The only downside to this attack is that you can relatively easily fix this up, and you don't usually have to change your code that much. In most cases, you just have to add a few lines to sanitize the code and you're done. Demonstration. Okay, now it's time for our little demonstration. Since the topic of this video is a category of attack and not an attack by itself, I'm just going to show you one of its variations, which is the SQL injection. As you can see, I opened up one of my own labs to show you how it's done. This lab is coded entirely in Next.js and uses PostgreSQL for database. As you can see, we have username and password fields. Whatever I write in the username and password field, you can see on the screen. So if we look at the database, you can see I made an account with a fake name, a fake email address, and a horrible password. If I write these in the form and submit, you can see that the logged in message shows up with my email, pretty standard. And to show you that it doesn't log in every time and the system works, I just write another password and it doesn't log in. Then if I write an exploit, I can log into any account I want. We just injected our own simple exploit inside a SQL query, hence the injection part. If you want to know how to construct your own SQL injections and get a more in-depth view, go watch my video on SQL injection next. So this is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. For more videos like this, subscribe. I put many resources like this on my YouTube channel and my personal website. So definitely take advantage of those resources. So until next time, stay paranoid, stay alive.